Hey Laura, what are you playing for UK Nationals this year?
Oh, you want to know? I have the spice. Okay, just let me show you. He is perfect. Look at him.
Hey guys, it's Jess again. And today we have a little bit of a different video. For those who don't already know her, this is Laura. And I do pretty much all of my Yu-Gi-Oh testing with her. And we built a deck list for UK Nationals, a Snake Rain Ogdoadic deck list that you ended up getting 33rd place with, just missing out on Top Cut on tiebreakers. So there aren't many resources for this deck online. We could barely find anything when we tried to build it. So I thought, look, you only missed out on Top Cut on tiebreakers. Let's show it off. Let's show the theory, explanations, and give you the congratulations you deserve for basically making Top Cut.
Yeah, no, this is 100% the best deck in the room.
I like it. I think it's good. That being said though, we will get into your deck profile and I'll let you get into your explanations.
Okay, so getting started. To clarify, me and Jess did build this list together, so a lot of the theory we came up with is our own, basically.
I ended up on a different deck, but that was mainly just because I really liked how Memento felt. But in hindsight, I do regret playing it. I think I should have taken this deck.
Okay, so starting off with the Ogdoadic cards, I'm playing 3 Naoya. This is at 3 because it is the best Ogdoadic starter, and it is an extender as well, usually discarding it to send the curse to the graveyard. And then we're also playing Nunu. Nunu is also an extender, and it really helps you play through Mitsurugi boards as well, because you can send it off of Snake Rain and don't summon it right away, because when they Marakumo board wipe you, you can then summon it as an extender through that, and it is just really good at helping you play through Mitsurugi end board.
It is also your main way. So there's 2 other big uses of this card. Your main Feral Imps searching Naoya is your main line, but quite often you'll use the Nunu to make Feral Imps when you're going into boards. And it can technically, if you search it with Feral Imps, it can then send a Mitsurugi ritual from your deck to the grave, which you can then reborn with something like Mitsurugi Mirror. A really valuable card in this list.
And then we're playing a Curse. Curse is your main grind game piece of this engine. So theoretically you want to get like more of these engraved, because this guy gets banished, won't lose the field off of this guy's effect. And you're just constantly resummoning this over and over again. And it is very good. It also helps you make like Chaos Angel because it's a level 8 and you can use the tokens.
If your opponent decides to reborn with it, you win the game.
Yes, because we are playing a card later which punishes your opponent for reborning with it. Then the last card is Night Sword Serpent. Night Sword Serpent, you're usually either sending it off a ritual, like Mitsurugi Ritual, or you're sending it off of Snake Rain. All of these cards you want to send off of Snake Rain, by the way.
If you already have access to a Naoya off of Snake Rain, you actually want to send a second one, because you want to have 2 copies of this engraved, so you have 1 for your turn 1 combo, and then 1 for your turn 2 combo when they get banished.
Yes, exactly. And then the last Ogdoadic cards is 1 Water Lily and 1 Daybreak. Daybreak is basically the bridge between the Ogdoadic Engine and the Mitsurugi Engine. As you use the effect, target like your banished Night Sword Serpent, put it back in the deck, and then you send a Aramasa from deck to grave. Then later on you can reborn it with Abao, and then that is how you bridge between the Ogdoadic Engine and the Mitsurugi Engine. And Water Lily is very good in the grind game. You're never really searching this turn 1, but your turn 2, when you summon Naoya again, this guy becomes really useful, because it basically just says Foolish and special summon any reptile from your graveyard, and that is insanely broken while reborning things like Marakumo in the grind game.
So one thing that I want to mention, actually 2 things I want to mention, is 1 card is missing from this package that we've seen in other Fiendsmith Ogdoadic lists, which is the level 10. We found it to be an unnecessary brick that didn't really give anything to the list.
Yeah, especially since it locks you into reptiles. I didn't find it necessary. Like, all of this stuff is very high value, but like most of this is bricky. Like these 3 you don't really want to draw, and to add another card into that, I don't think it's worth it at all playing the level 10.
The last thing I'd like to say about Daybreak is this card actually win you multiple Mitsurugi mirror matches, because in the grind game, if they go SP on your Kusanagi or your Futsu, trying to cut off your grind game, specifically if they hit the Murakumo or Kusanagi, you can use Daybreak to get that back into your deck and cut off their Kusanagi.
Yes.
Basically, SP doesn't cut off the grind game in this deck because of Daybreak.
Yes, exactly. So that's it for the Ogdo cards. Okay, so for the Mitsurugi cards, we're playing 3 Habakiri, 1 Futsu, and 1 Murakumo. So we're playing 5 rituals. I don't think you play another one of these because, like we explained before, if it gets banished, you can just go Daybreak, put it back, and then summon it from deck again. And we're playing Futsu as well. This card is very good in the Mitsu mirror match, and also I keep it in against things like Memento. And then for the other Mitsurugi monsters, we're playing 3 Aramasa, 1 Kusanagi, and 1 Saji. I've seen other people play 3 Saji, but in my opinion, we want the most valuable normal summons in the deck. And these 2 aren't that great, especially since we're not playing things like Magatama. So I just want to maximize on the Aramasa because it is the most valuable normal summon out of all of these.
It's also just important to note that you're getting these from deck pretty much no matter what. So playing the extra Futsu is pretty important, as if you see anything like pre-preparation of rites, you are getting that extra advantage from the Ogdoadic Engine.
No, exactly. So on to the Mitsurugi spells. We're playing 3 Mitsurugi prayers, 1 Mitsurugi ritual, and 1 Mitsurugi mirror. Of course, we are playing pre-preparation of rites, but I'll show that later on.
I think mirror, with what I said a minute ago, mirror is honestly probably the most valuable ritual spell in this deck. Although ritual provides you more base advantage, the fact that both Snake Rain and Nunu get you access to a ritual engrave, meaning that mirror allows you to access rituals before you have to summon from deck, and they allow you to amass advantage much earlier in your turn.
Mitsurugi Mirror is just a lot more live in this deck because of things like Snake Rain and Nunu. Some people do play 2 ritual, but in my opinion, you don't want to clog on it. You just want to see as much extenders as, like 1-card extenders as possible. And if you don't have a ritual monster, Mitsurugi Ritual isn't a 1-card extender. So if you normal summon Aramasa and it gets impermed and you don't have another extender, like what's this doing, you know? So I think this is the correct ratio of Mitsurugi spells. So now for the Fiendsmith Engine, I'm playing triple Engraver, 1 Lacrima, 1 Worry, 1 Tract, and then the last card is Paradise. I do think that this should be another Tract, but this is, as you can tell, it's kind of a budget list. Like I'm only playing 3 Charmies, and Tract is very expensive at the minute, so I had to deal with the 3 Engraver. This was fine, but in theory, 2nd Tract over the 3rd Engraver is correct because you play through things like Draw a lot better.
And I think it's, while we're going into this engine, it's worth mentioning that you side out most of these cards going 2nd. Because you only end up keeping in the Engraver and the Lacrima, and these 5 pseudo bricks end up getting sided out going 2nd.
Because none of these are very valuable going 2nd, so you just want to keep this in so you still have access to your things like Chaos Angel or Caesar if you manage to break a board. Now for power spells, we are of course on the 3 copies of Snake Rain, one of the best cards in the deck. The only time this card isn't that great is if you have to face down a Murakumo. Because you're already discarding a card for this, it kind of just becomes -2, which doesn't feel good.
But you end up getting so much advantage off of the Snake Rain that it does somewhat make up for it.
Yeah, it does make up for it, which is why we're playing it. And then, of course, 3 pre-preparation of rites because we are playing Mitsuiki Mirror. This card is also very high value, and you cannot not play it. Like in this version of the deck, even if you're playing this not 60 card version, this card is very valuable because it gets access to that Mitsurugi Mirror. Now for the power spell like non-engine, I'm playing 2 Thrust and 1 Talents. Thrust in theory is very good because I was expecting a lot of Bestials, and also I guess theoretically if they summon a monster off of Curse, you can punish them with Thrust. But no one ever really did that because they're not that dumb.
So the main thing with that is this deck plays very, very well through Perulia. This deck is basically unaffected by Perulia. So if your opponent goes draw phase Perulia and they end up reborning with the curse, you go thrust step from deck. The main reason though is this was originally 3 more hand traps, but because you play so many strong power spells like Pre-Preparation of Rites and Snake Rain, this ends up becoming an extender that can push through basically any board. Also, if you get Bestialed, you can search any of the power spells in your deck, because this deck is pretty weak to Bestials. Bestials on Curse specifically does hurt your grind game a lot.
Yes, so just being able to punish that with Thrust, which is why we played it, other than like over more hand traps. So now, I guess to go with the Thrust, we are playing Imperm as a set from deck target in main. And for the other hand traps, we're on 3 Fua, 3 Nib, 3 Ash, 3 Droll. And these are all the very common ones. Like, these are ones that you'll pretty much see in every single deck list. I'm not playing Perulia because I don't have Perulias. I don't even know if I would play Perulia anyway, to be honest, but that's something to test if I ever do get Perulias.
I mean, for going first, I think this is better right now, because even if you do get, let's say, Meowsed,
yes,
because that's off. Meows is like the worst Charmy for you.
Yes.
But if you get food as well, having those live hand traps to hand is better, as you can't clear your board that easily in this deck.
Yes. And for the, I guess, lesser common hand traps, we are playing 3 Veiler. And then finally, 3 Ghost Spell. So Ghost Spell is definitely more, Ghost Spell is a lot better than Veiler. But for Veiler, we kind of just wanted something, it was the next best thing, basically. And we wanted something which was fine against Malice. Like, it's not great against Mitsu, but it's fine against Ryziel. This could be Bestials, but I ended up side decking Bestials. Jess really likes playing Bestials in main over this, and then possibly like siding these or something. But we basically just wanted to have as many hand traps as possible in main.
It's Nationals. Nationals, typically you will get a wide range of decks. You also get a lot of rogue stuff at Nationals. We thought the best approach to Nationals was just playing the most versatile list possible. And Veiler, although it's not the most impactful, it is more versatile than Bestials.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it for the main deck. That is 21 hand traps, by the way.
And if you wanted to cut the thrusts and talents, it would be 24.
Yeah, exactly. For the extra deck, we're playing fairly small Fiendsmith package. We're playing 1 Requiem, 1 Moon, and a Desiree, and of course Necroquip, Caesar. The Desiree is purely just for Paradise. I didn't want Sequence because I wanted to play a lot more toolboxy cards, and my theory was that, you're just using, instead of going for Sequence in the grind game, you can just use the Engraved Reborn to go for things like Chaos Angel, and you don't need the Sequence is what I found, and I would want to play more toolboxy cards over than running like Sequence, Egnum Day kind of thing. Now, Honorary Fiendsmith card is another toolboxy card, like I said, is Exciton Knight. And Exciton Knight is very good in theory. It never came up for me, but I am very happy that it was in the deck, just in case it did come up for me. And I'm also playing Dugaris as another rank 4. Dugaris came up a lot for me, just being able to like reborn things from grave. Doubling the attack of things helped me OTK quite a few times.
Murakumo specifically.
Yeah, reborning Murakumo specifically. And also it came up a lot, like ended up like reborning things like Saji so I can get access to prayers, and then prayers summon the Murakumo. Dugaris is just very, very, very good. And then the last rank 4 is Feral Imps. Feral Imps usually make it in your combo, searching your Naoya, things like that.
So Feral Imps is better than just a combo piece though.
Yes.
Like, in my opinion, Feral Imps is the best card in the deck, because it doesn't just search you a Habakiri or a Saji like it does in Pure. This searches you access to hard combo extenders like Naoya, which then get you the Curse, which then tributes the Feral Imps, reborns both, gets you Daybreak, gets you 4 tokens. It is a lot more than just an extender, and it comes up when you get interrupted. Just to be able to go into Feral Imps as a backup play, then gets you into quite often better than you were going to get before you were interrupted.
Yeah, exactly. And it's one of the reasons why I like this deck so much. It is basically just a Mitsurugi combo deck. Like, that is so appealing to me. Okay, so then I'm also running a Nightmare Unicorn. Nightmare Unicorn helps you get into A-Bow. And A-Bow is basically the ultimate bridge between both of the engines and also an endboard piece. And then after that, we are also running IP, SP. You can theoretically go into Unicorn. Unicorn sometimes does come up as like a removal, but you're mainly just using the IP to go into things like SP.
So the main reason to use these three here is as your token bridge. Because when you summon 4 tokens, you can't make a lot of monsters like SP because they need effect monsters. So you're going 2 tokens into IP, IP plus a token into Unicorn, and then Unicorn plus a token into the A-Bow.
Yeah, exactly. And then that is basically the fundamental basis of all of the combos. So now the last few cards in the extra deck are the 2 reptile monsters, Haggard Wizard and Selene Snapper, and a Chaos Angel. So like I said before, I want as much toolboxy cards as possible. This card says destroy 2 spells and traps, or up to 2 spells and traps. And I think having the toolboxiness of things like Selene Snapper is very good. In theory, and also in testing, this card was very good against things like Memento, so I don't think I would want to change it at all. Haggard Wizard is also very good, because you can use a token plus a now you're on field, usually, to make Haggard, and then being able to draw a card, set things guys attack to 0 basically, comes up a lot when playing through a board.
I think it's also very important with Haggard going first, is outside of just the ability to draw a card, quite often in your combos when you get interrupted, you will overlay a Night Sword Serpent and your Nauya into a Feralymphs and use the effect to try and get to your engine. If you do that line, you then do not have a banished reptile that you can put back into deck with Daybreak and get your Foolish. So Haggard Banish from Grave, whether you're banishing a Nauya, Aramasa, then gives you that banished reptile to allow you to fully utilize Daybreak and bridge between engines.
And then Chaos Angel, a lot of the time it makes up with Curse plus a Ogdoadic token, but also using your Fiendsmith engine and things like Bestials plus like a normal summon Aramasa also work. So that is it for the extra deck, and now for the side deck. I was running 3 copies of Phantasme and 3 copies of Lancia. This is basically the Malice hate for the deck. I don't own Mulch Armies, as I said before, so Phantasme is the next best option to be able to draw into things like Veilers, Ghost Spells, and things like that versus Malice. And then Lancia is, of course, the best card in the world versus Malice, so that is my Malice hate in the side basically. Then I'm running 3 Bestials. There is an argument to play these over the effect Veilers in main, but I didn't want to go up against Malice and draw a Bestial and feel like shit. So I ended up siding these to put them in against things like Mitsurugi, things like Fiendsmith, and I'm very glad that I did side them. For these spells, I'm running 1 copy of Thrust, 1 copy of Duster, and a Call by the Grave. So usually going first, I put in a Thrust because we are playing 2 targets for it with Dim Barrier and Sanctum, but I'll talk about those in a minute. The Duster was mainly there just in case I went against things like Rogue matchups, things like Stun, Labyrinth, or just anything that seemed quite back row heavy. Also against Memento it is quite nice. Call by of course goes in first, or sometimes it can go in second depending on the matchup. And Dim Barrier plus Sanctum I think was the correct thrust targets for the event because there was a lot of pure Mitsurugi, decent amount of Memento, and a lot of Malice. And the last card in the side deck is Gagaga Cowboy. The deck likes to make a lot of rank 4s, and this card ended up winning me the game at one point because he likes to burn in time. So that is it for the side deck. I honestly wouldn't change anything about this. Even the main deck list, I don't think I would change anything about it. Like, I think I'm glad I sided the Bestials, and yeah, there's nothing I would change about it.
And that's it for the deck list. This is a different kind of thing to what we normally upload, but we both put a pretty decent amount of time into the deck list, and I'm happy you achieved something with it, so may as well show it off. Are there any shout outs or final things you want to say about the deck list?
I guess obviously shout out to you. Jess is 50% of the deck list, but I don't think there is anyone else that I'd want to shout out. But in terms of the deck list, I don't think I would change anything. I'm still going to continue playing it going forward, maybe at some regionals or something like that. And I will see how it adapts, but as for this list, I think I built the perfect Ogdo list for Nationals. And I'm very happy with how I did.
What was your Swiss record again? It was 8-2-1, right?
8-2-1, yes. It was the same record that I got last year.
And other people did top on that record?
Yes.
So you were so close.
I was so close. I was so close to getting the snakes to top, but oh well, maybe next year.
Next year. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and see you in the next one.
See ya.